Again, upper left, altimeter set on 0, airspeed, ball, we talked about those. Upper right is vertical speed. Tells you how fast you're going up or down. It's in hundreds of feet. Each little notch is a little hundreds of feet per minute. So if it's pointing at the number 5 above the 0, theoretically, in 1 minute, you'll be 500 feet higher. Of all the instruments we have, that's the most worthless. Because what I want you to do is I want you to look outside the plane. The airplane, you know, I don't care how long it takes to climb, as long as it's climbing. If you're looking outside the airplane, you'll be able to see when it's climbing or descending. Your tachometer, bottom left, like a muscle car from the 60s, it's kind of banging around about 500 RPM. And then the most important gauge we have is an oil pressure gauge. Bottom right, short little needle, it's in the green. And our oil temperature is 40 C, so we're looking good there.
Okay.
G is for gasoline. Right above your head next to that mirror, there's a little tube up there. You see it?
Oh, yep.
It's hard to see that there's a bobber. I filled the tank up myself yesterday, so if you and I, with the way the wind, yeah, definitely, with the way the wind's blowing today, if you and I wanted to go to Valdosta, Georgia, it's going to be about 2.5 hours, maybe 3-hour flight. We got enough gas to get there, so we're good to go on the gas.
Okay.
Inside the cockpit on the left-hand side is your mixture control, and we're going to leave that full rich. We're down here at sea level, and then right ahead of that, you'll see the little red arrow that says on or off. Now, I think that ultimately you're going to get your pilot's license. Notice that everything that has anything to do with fuel is red. So yeah, that's why everything's red. Other than this thing by your ankle, that's red for safety. That's our control lock, and that's off.
Okay.
So red means fuel. CIGA is accessories, your elevator trim tab is underneath the throttle on the left-hand side. You'll see me moving that around. Don't worry about that. The last letter we have is R, and that stands for run-up. I'm going to go ahead and take the airplane back. But now let me check the engine here. So we're going to bring the power on up here. There's 1,500 RPM. Right now you can see on the far left-hand side of the panel is our magneto switch. Right now it's on both. I'm going to switch from both to left. So basically what we did right now is we grounded the right mag. It's running on one left mag, and that the magnetos provide the spark to the spark plugs, just like your distributor in your car, only we have 2 of them. And the engine's fine. Oh, and by the way, look out the right side. Here's our smoke system. This is what it looks like.
Okay.
Just so you know, I don't want to freak you out. And the airplane's good to go. So here's what the drill is here today. I'm going to do the takeoff for you. Once we get to about 100 feet off the ground, I'm going to have you come on the controls with me here, Grant. And so the idea is we're going to do 1 turn to the left and 1 turn to the right. I'm going to be following through with you. And then at that point, I'm going to let go of the stick. The only way to learn how to fly this thing is just to fly it. You got to fly it. 2 things. One, we've already kind of mentioned here before we go. If you're looking outside the airplane the majority of the time, you will do great. You're going to do wonderful. If you stare at instruments, you're going to really struggle. A lot of our airline pilots struggle with this thing because they're used to looking at instruments.
Right.
The other thing is I've run across some really strong guys in my day, and I can tell because I can't move the stick when I'm trying to help them. So the idea is when you put your feet on the pedals and grab the stick when you're flying, just relax. You know, a lot of people grab that stick, and they have a death grip on it. You don't want a death grip on anything. You just want to have a loose grip like you're holding a glass of iced tea.
Don't want to white knuckle it.
Exactly, because what's going to happen is your hands are going to cramp, then you have to switch hands, and most people aren't ambidextrous, and so on and so forth. Well, we're looking down here. You see our windsock down there?
Yep.
We have a little bit of a left to right crosswind, so we can expect when the tail comes off the ground, it's going to try to weather vane a little bit. So I'm looking at that and say, okay, I can expect to add a little bit more right rudder to keep the airplane going straight than normal. And I can also expect once I get the airplane off the ground, we become part of that mass of air that's moving that way. So we're going to try to climb straight on out. And so we have to be kind of careful today because the wind's kind of strong, and it could blow us to the northeast. So it takes a long time to get back. So we'll kind of be conscious of that.
Okay.
It might be blowing about 15 miles an hour here on the ground, surface winds. Up at 1,000 feet, I guarantee it's blowing 25 miles an hour or more. So the higher you go, obviously, the heavier the wind. Enough said. What do you think? You ready?
I think I'm ready.
Happy birthday, by the way. And one
Thanks.
last thing I'll tell you, you're never going to forget today. You're going to love this. It's really, really nice. So let me see. No one's landing. The idea on this is you want to look straight ahead and focus on infinity. And when you do so, you can either see these little white rumbling markers going by,
yep,
or we can see this little fence off our right. So for a parallel of that fence, that means we're going straight, right?
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's full power. The tail comes off the ground right about here. It's ready to fly. We're going to bring the nose on up. And away we go. Doesn't take long. We are going to get some, couple of bumps down here low to the ground. Your wife's down there. There's a little air show smoke for her. She now thinks we're on fire. Beautiful. Nice and smooth up here. I was happy when I flew in because it's with these high clouds, it'll think it's smooth. If you look outside the airplane, just like your simulator, you're going to see your horizon. That's what we're going to be using to figure out what this thing is doing right now. Obviously, our wings are level. We're at about 100 feet. I want you to grab the stick there, Grant.
All right.
And you want to climb on out at about 75. So I want you to lower the nose a little bit for me. Lower the nose some more. There you go. Now, when you're trying to climb on out, there is no reference. You know, you're looking straight ahead. You don't know, how steep you're climbing. But if you look over here, you can see your horizon, and that's a really nice climb angle right there. If you get the nose up too steep, it'll slow down and stall. Let's try a left-hand turn. So I want you to ease the stick to the left. There you go. She rolls to the left. You get the angle of bank that you want. Stick back to neutral. Very nice. Hold it there. Just keep it coming to your left.
Okay.
If you look at that little black ball on your instrument panel, you see how it's right between the two little white lines?
Yep.
That means you don't have to use any left rudder.
Okay.
Wonderful. We'll go ahead and roll those wings back to level here. Nice. And we're going about 70. That's okay. Let's try a right-hand turn. Shallow angle of bank. Stick back to neutral. Perfect. Now, look at that little black ball. See how the ball's out to the right a little bit?
Yeah.
You want to push forward on that right rudder pedal until there. It doesn't take much. Perfect. That's how you fly Stearman.
Okay.
Let's see, 2 minutes and 7 seconds. I just taught you how to fly. Look how nice it is up here, smooth. All right, let's make another left-hand turn. We're at 600 feet. Beautiful. And we'll roll the wings back to level here. Nice. Now, where we're going to be doing the majority of our flying here today is right over the nose. If you look up there about another 2-3 miles, there's nothing up there but sod farms and cattle pastures. It's hard to see now because the nose is up. We're climbing.
Right.
This is the way we want to go. And the tailwind today from Mother Nature will get us out there a little quicker. So the idea is to continue our climb, 75 miles an hour. If you lower that nose just a touch, there you go.
Okay.
Now, a lot of the maneuvers that you're going to be doing today are called ground reference maneuvers. Now, what that means is just by looking over the side of the airplane, you're going to be able to see which direction you're going. Because it's really nice. It keeps your attention outside the plane where it belongs. Right down below you, to your right. Do you see that road down there?
Yeah.
Right there. What I want you to do is cross over that road, make a right-hand turn, and follow that road. That road is actually north and south.
Okay.
And we're looking for about a 20-degree angle of bank. So you look out there at the horizon, that's level. Let's try a 20-degree angle of bank turn here. 10, 20. Great job. There's the rudder pedal. Perfect. When we're following that road, we'll roll the wings back to level. There you go. So you don't have to have a map or a compass to know which direction you're going. Now, look over here off your left. You see out here in the distance, there's a fence line or a tree line up there? Might be a little bit difficult to see. We're a little bit of, about a mile away, 2 miles away from it. But that's east and west.
Okay.
Everything out here in their property lines are east, west, north, south. Let's make a left-hand turn. Let's go to the west, back towards Tampa. There you go. Perfect. There's 1,100 feet, looking good here. Super, let's go back to your right. Shallow angle of bank, looking good, just like that. Nice job with the rudder. So you can see that it's pretty sensitive. You know, it doesn't take a lot of movement. That's why I want you to do these 30-degree angle of bank turn, or 20 degrees. Let's make one more left-hand turn. There you go. Good. We'll roll her back to level. Now, a quick glance at your upper left-hand instrument tells us we're about 1,200 feet. Just keep the airspeed right where it's at. We're at 75. Continue your climb. We're going to go up about another 100 feet here. And then we'll level up. Now this is what we call uncontrolled airspace out here. There's no one out here telling us, on the radio telling us if there's traffic. So we always want to be looking outside for other aircraft that might be around. Generally, you're not going to see them down this low. They're going to be a lot higher than 1,200 feet. And you know what? We're good here at this altitude, 1,200 feet. So go ahead and level out here. That's about level flight right there. Cool. So let's go into our lesson. What I want you to give me is a 180-degree turn to your left. Let's go a little steeper. We're looking for about a 30-degree angle. 10, 20, 30. This is what we call a coordination turn. Hold this right here. You can see which direction we're going by looking at these little roads here. That's north and south. We're going back this way. We're going back towards Orlando. Perfect. Great job. Nice up here. Beautiful. Let's try one to your right. Same deal. Add a little right rudder on this one. 10, 20, 30. Perfect. We'll roll the wings back to level. Grant, how you feeling? Pretty good?
Doing good.
All right. I want you right ahead of the windscreen. You see those wires that are right ahead of you?
Whoop. Yep.
Those wires right now, they're at a 45-degree angle to the horizon right now, okay? So what we want to do now is I want you to progress into a 45-degree angle of bank turn. So if you put those wires parallel with the horizon and about 3 inches above the horizon, that'll be a level turn in the sky. What I want you to do is give me a 360 to your left. Put that left wire parallel and above. Whenever you're ready, let's try one. Perfect. Hold that right there. Bird passing down below us. You can see which direction you're turning. Right now, you start off going to the west. We're going to the south there. This is back to the east. You can see this little subdivision is in a grid pattern.
Okay.
180 is here. Now, this maneuver that you're doing right now, you're going to have to do this when you get your license, right here. And you're doing it on lesson number 1. You're doing great. 270 is here. Just keep it coming to your left until we're heading back.
Got a little light.
Yep, a little bit more this way. Perfect.
All right.
That passes. Let's go. Let's do one to your right. Same deal. Put that right wire parallel and a little above. Nice. And around you go. 90 degrees is right there. Keep it going. We'll do a 360. I can tell you this, if those wires, you're doing a great job. If those wires fall below the horizon, you're going downhill. Perfect. That's 180. Good. Just keep that ball in the middle. A little bit more right rudder. 270 is here. .360 degrees is here. Let's go ahead and roll the wings back to level. And that is 360 is 45. And again, if you would have done those on your private pilot check ride, that passes because they allow you to go up or down 100 feet. And you were looking at your altimeter right now. It's 1,240 feet or so. So you pass.
Cool.
What do you think so far? You having fun?
I'm having a ball.
Cool. This next maneuver you're going to love. Because generally at this point in your flight, you should start feeling pretty comfortable in this thing. Especially if you look down below you. If we had to land anywhere, pick your spot, right?
Yeah.
All open fields. This Lazy 8, I'm going to come on the controls with you. We're going to do one of these to the left together. So just feel what I do. I'm back with you here, okay? So here's the key. No, stay with me. Okay. 10 degrees to your left. There. That's all you want. Nothing more than that.
Okay.
Bring the stick back slightly. Freeze this stick right here. Hold it like it's in concrete. Don't move it at all. Look over your left shoulder. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
That's why they call it lazy. Look how slow it is. Gravity will pull the nose through the horizon. Now listen to the airplane. Listen to it. Hear the whistle?
Yep.
You know it's going fast. You're going about 105, 110. We roll the wings back to level, and you're going the other direction. So it's a 180-degree turn with a little bit of pitch involved. What do you think? Did you like that?
Yeah.
Okay. You got it. Now, you're going to think that a lot happened, but really nothing happened. Let's go back to your left.
Okay.
So let's try 10 degrees to your left. There. All right. Bring the nose up. Hold this stick right there. Up we go. Look over your left shoulder. Beautiful. Downhill she comes. Now listen to it. Start rolling it back to your right and bring that nose on up. About 2 G's there. Nice. Now,
that was cool.
Let's try one of those to your right. The only difference on this one is you're going to have to use a little right rudder over the top. Let's try it. Shallow angle of bank. There you go. Bring the nose up. The shallower your angle of bank that you start with, the more vertical penetration you get. Now right here, little right rudder. Wow, nice one. Look how steep you are. Back to your left, and we'll bring that nose on up. And you see that one, you recovered, and you really didn't pull any G-forces. Did you like that?
Yeah.
All right.
Have to figure that one out.
Yeah, well, we got plenty of time.
Yeah.
What I want you to do on this time, we're going to have a little test here. I want you to do one of those to the left, followed by one of those to the right. No stopping in between the two. The idea is to string it all together. So whenever you're ready, let's try a shallow angle of bank and bring that nose on up. Hold her there. Up we go. These are my favorite maneuvers. The nose will fall through the horizon. There. Let it speed up. Roll it right on through. 10 degrees to your right, and bring that nose on up. Hold her there. And a little right rudder here over the top. And we just recover, wings back to level, bring the nose on up. And you are America's newest air show pilot. So what do you think so far? Does this thing fly like you thought it was going to fly? Is it better? Is it worse? Is it easier, harder? What do you think?
I was expecting a certain amount of lag, and there's a little more than I was expecting.
Is that right?
But I like it.
You know what's cool about it is, I'm sorry, Dan, go ahead.
And there's a little less, it takes a less movement than I expected.
Right. Just for now, just let go of this stick for me and put your feet on the floor. Now you can't see my feet, but you can see my hands.
Okay.
So look in the mirror.
Okay.
So look what this thing.
Oh.
So if we didn't touch the controls for, we got 3 hours of fuel, we're going to end up in the Atlantic someplace out of gas. It's going to fly straight level. You don't have to fly, you just have to tell it what you want it to do. All right, you got it. I got one more thing for you to do, and then I'll have you play around with this thing. Your task on this, not going to be hard for you here, Grant, is to keep the wings level. And do me a favor, don't look at the instruments. Don't be an airline pilot. We're going to make you a sport pilot. So we're going to bring the power back a little bit. And gently lower the nose. Put it into a shallow dive. Tell me when you can hear the whistle of the wind in the wires.
Yep.
You hear that whistle?
Yep.
All right, bring it back to level flight. Good, now just listen to it. Again, it's like coasting up to a stop sign in your car with the windows down. Bring the nose up some more. Bring the nose up some more. Come on back some more, come on back. Here's your stall on a Stearman right here. It's going to say, I can't go any slower, so if you won't lower my nose, I will do it for you. And listen to it. You hear the whistle?
Yep.
And so the airplane's telling you it's flying again. All we have to do is bring the power back in and away you go. So it's almost like GI proof. You know, if you accidentally stall the airplane, it actually recovers for you. Because after this airplane stalled, you notice the nose came right back up on its own.
Yep.
And that, sir, is how to fly an airplane. That's left and right, up and down, fast and slow. Now, do you think the simulator has helped you today?
The what?
All this hours you spent on the simulator, has that helped you today?
Definitely.
Absolutely it has.
Definitely.
Let's make a right-hand turn. Now keep this in mind. Back in World War II, you would have been expected to solo this airplane, fly it by yourself in between 8 and 12 hours of instruction. Now, if you could not do that, they gave you 2 more hours of training, and if you still couldn't solo it, they kicked you out or washed you out like I talked about on the ground. All right, here's what we got. We got about 8 more minutes here to fly before we have to head back towards Fantasy of Flight. Okay. This is your opportunity to have some fun. So if you want to fly it around, if you want to practice some turns, you can do that. If you want to do some lazy eights, we can do that. Whatever you like to do, different types of stalls. This is playtime because you're in total control of this airplane at this point.
Okay. I'm going to try a couple lazy eights for starters.
All right.
Those are fun.
Let me look around. No one's around. Let's try it. So shallow angle of bank, bring it on up. This is nice and steep. I'm going to give you a little air show smoke on this one. It's kind of cool. You can see where you've been back behind you. Let it speed up going downhill. There you go. Roll it right on through. And a little right rudder right here. Ooh, look how steep you are on this one. Just not the same in a simulator. Very nice. Very nice. You know, from now on, when you fly your sim, you're going to have a fan blowing on the head of the monitor screen, and you're going to have somebody, you know, your wife shaking the chair or something. I don't know.
The thing that I've always missed in a simulator is the peripheral.
Yeah.
It's just not there anywhere.
This is pretty cool because, you know, maybe the visibility is very limited right ahead of you, but you can see all the way around you, you know,
Yeah.
and that's, I think, what a lot of people like about this. Whereas in a Cessna, you can see over the nose really well, but you can't see behind you. Very nice. I'm going to give you a challenge. Let's roll the airplane back to level. Let's use our air show smoke. So, what I want you to do is give me a 360 to your right. I'm going to give you a little air show smoke when you start to turn. If you do a true turn in the sky, a level turn, you should fly right through your smoke.
What angle am I going
Whatever
for?
you want.
Okay.
Whatever, it's up to you. Whenever you're ready, let's do it.
All right.
Perfect. Your smoke's on here. All right. There's your smoke. What's great about this is where you're sitting, you really can't see the smoke until you're just about on it. Oh, it's nice and smooth up here. Wow. Now look up here, come around, lower that nose a little tiny bit. You got it way, look how high that wire is above the horizon.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There's your smoke. You see it as you come around?
Yeah.
Again, the idea on this is to do a turn and not go up or down. So on that one we climbed a little bit. Let's try one to your left. I'll give you a little bit more smoke. Just remember that wire is your friend, or you can check your vertical speed indicator, your upper right-hand instrument. That tells you kind of a trend what you're doing. There you go. That's much better, much better. Hold that right there. So you fly the Stearman right around 65 hours in your primary training course. You're doing great. There's your smoke.
Yeah.
See it there? I want you to dive through it. Go through it.
That far down?
Yeah. There it is. I think we were here. Wow. So you fly this 65 hours from this airplane, the BT-13. You fly that for 100 hours. From there, they go into the Texan. That one, advanced aerobatics, you know, complex systems with the big engine and the retractable landing gear. From there, they're going to give you a P-51 Mustang. God, could you imagine? You're like 19 years old, and you're flying a P-51, and it's got guns in it. You're blowing stuff up. That'd be cool. Let's try one of those to the right. Great job. The more of those you do, the more comfortable you become with those. There you go. Hold it right there. Perfect. This might be your best one yet. A little right rudder right here. Look how steep you are. Looking straight at the ground off your right wing. Nice. What's interesting is when you do a lazy 8, for example, if you do one to your right, we're going to be going into the wind, and it happens a lot slower. Now bring the nose up here. Now hold it right there. Now look how slow we are over the top. Because right now we have a headwind. We're barely moving. The nose, let the nose come through. Go ahead and lower the nose. There you go. Beautiful. And try one to your left. When you're doing with the wind, now we have a tailwind, and the airplane really takes off. Yeah, right. Yeah. I believe you're comfortable. I'm looking at you in that mirror up there. You're up there smiling away.
I have a little more trouble keeping north and south orientation than I thought I would.
Is that right? It's a little hazy today. Let me help you with that. Let's make a right-hand turn. A lot of people don't really get what I'm talking about, section line. You see this section line right here?
Yeah.
That's east and west. We know that that's going to the east, and then there's another one below us here. We'll roll it on out. Now we're heading to the south. It doesn't matter which direction you're going now. You'll learn that later. We have a compass on the top row, but you can't really, of instruments up there, but you can't really read it.
Yeah.
I haven't used a compass since I got my private pilot's license. I fly by using a map.
Yeah. When I go boating, I do a lot more by, I know the area.
Right. Now, a lot of training going on here in Central Florida. Right over here off your right shoulder, this is Lakeland. There's a lake, we can't see it, we're too low, but there's a lake over here. On the west side of that lake, there was an Army Air Corps training base there. 225 Stearmans, believe it or not.
Wow.
We're based there, and where you're flying at right now, this was their practice area right here. So we had Stearmans in Lakeland, P-51s in Bartow, which is down here about, 20 miles or so, where that big landfill is, you can see. It's right beyond that. If we flew this way for an hour, we would fly to Sebring. If you ever go to the Sebring Airport, that's where the big car race is. B-17s were there. So, a lot of training, because obviously you can fly here every single day.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I didn't realize we had so many aircraft in this area.
A lot.
During the war.
You can look at an aircraft chart, and there's a lot of these really big airports out in the middle of nowhere, and they're big. They look like big A-frame, like a big A, because there's 3 runways. Like Winter Haven was an auxiliary base for the B-25s.
Okay.
B-26s were flying in and out of what is now McDill. Down in Sarasota, P-40 Warhawks were down there. Zephyr Hills, right over the nose, was a landing base for the Navy. They used whatever they were flying in and out of there. Beautiful. Now, I'm going to help you here. You were talking to me earlier about the fact that you didn't really know directions here. Well, roll the wings back to level. If you were to look over here, you see all those lakes over there?
Yeah.
That's the southeast. That's the way the wind's coming from. Let's make a right-hand turn. We'll start heading on back that way.
All right.
You see, Grant, flying is supposed to be fun. All right, that's why we fly an airplane like this. You know, when you fly in an airliner, that's called traveling. That is certainly not fun anymore.
Right.
That's a hassle. This is fun. You notice the whole time we've been flying, I haven't talked to anybody on the radio at all. I mean, it's just you and me. If you and I had, let's just say we had about a month of time, okay, and a high limit credit card with 0 balance, you and I could fly this airplane here, from here to California, from California to Maine to Florida. Never once would we have to turn on the radio. And so the people from Europe, they're like, that is incredible because it's so regulated over there. And we're very, very fortunate here that we don't have to really deal with that. Now, your airspeed right now, we're going about, what, 80 miles an hour?
Yeah.
If you look over the side of the airplane, we're going into the wind. Our ground speed right now is 80 minus or 20, maybe 25 miles an hour. So today would not be the day to fly to like Melbourne or Miami. We'd never get there.
Right.
But if we wanted to fly up to, I don't know, Tallahassee, we would be gone trucking today. That tailwind. So we're going to start heading back towards Fantasy of Flight. Here's the deal. We're going to use a lot of the things that you've learned up to this point in the pattern. So the idea is we're going to do shallow turns, we're going to do descending turns. The idea is we're going to have you fly the pattern to land, maintenance of airspeed. That's pretty important down low to the ground because you know what will happen if you allow the airplane to get too slow. And the last thing you want to do is stall it low to the ground.
Right.
And I'm going to have you line up the airplane with the runway. So we're going to be flying the big pattern here today.
Okay.
Fantasy of Flight, if you know airplane lingo, and I think you do, it's at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
About 4 miles. You see that big lake up there?
That tower? Is that the water
Yeah,
tower?
the tower, that tower over there, that's a prison.
Oh, okay.
So we don't want to go there.
No.
Right ahead of you, on the other side of that lake, you're going to see
Okay.
the red and white. You can maybe barely make it out.
I got it.
Perfect. Now, the pattern altitude that we always start at with the Stearman or any airplane, 800 feet. And that's what we got now. And I'm looking out there in the distance. Perfect timing because I think we got a little rain coming in. You see out there? We're going to beat it, but you can see it goes. It might miss us. I think it's going to miss us, but down in Winter Haven, it's probably raining there right now. This airplane, when you fly it through rain, feels like a BB hitting you in the face.
I would think so.
Not real comfortable. I don't really like it so much. I think you're doing great. I think you're having fun. You're looking over the side of the airplane, and when you look over the side of the airplane and not staring at instruments, what that means to me is you're comfortable in the airplane. And I think that you've done a nice job with your comfort level here today. At this point, you can see Fantasy of Flight is on the other side of the lake, right ahead of you. Do you see it?
Yep.
All right. What we always want to do is land into the wind. So we're going to go back here. We're going to see what Winter Haven is saying about the wind here. You'll hear the radio.
100 at 16.
So it's blowing 100 at 16 knots. So basically, our runway is 130 here, and it's blowing maybe 16 knots, 18 miles an hour. So let's climb back up just a little higher. There you go. There we go. There's 700 feet.
You're going 800, right?
Yeah, we'll get 800 out of it.
All right.
Looks like we're not moving much anymore.
There we go.
That's good. And we'll lower the nose back to level flight here. Cool. All right, so here's what we got. Fantasy of Flight's right there.
Yep.
You can see the wind drift on the lake. We're going to use the same runway that we took off from. I believe, you know what? We're not. We're going to use the long runway. Looks like it's either one. I'd rather use the long runway. So what we'll do is we're going to fly over the top of our runway. I'll show you the runway. The runway goes right between these two lakes right here. So we're going to go to that bluish green water tower. Once we get there, we're going to make a right-hand turn, right-hand turn, right-hand turn. I'm going to have you line up the airplane with our runway.
Okay. Do you want me to head toward the water tower now?
Yeah, you know what? With the way the wind's blowing, if you head towards Fantasy of Flight, you'll wind up at the water tower there.
Okay.
There you go. Actually, we're going to do something different. Let's make a right-hand turn.
How much?
I want you to go that way.
Okay.
And just lower that nose. Now, here's the thing. I had you bringing the nose up in a turn. And when you do that, when we have cruise power dialed in. Now, I have brought the power back. So in a turn, you want to actually lower the nose. This is good right here.
Okay.
Hold this right here. Now, I'm going to have you shoot the pattern here. We're basically right now, we're at a modified left downwind. Our runway goes right between the lake. There's a tower right ahead of you, 450 feet AGL above the ground level. So we don't want to hit that. There's a little flashing light on the top of it. All right, so lower that nose for me just a little bit. You see it right ahead of you there?
Oh, yeah.
So let's make a little bit more of a left-hand turn. We'll be inside of that.
Okay.
Beautiful. Good, and we'll roll the wings back to level here and lower the nose for me. Hold her here. Now, here's what we got. Fantasy Flight has a really long runway. This long runway is almost a mile long. It's 5,100 feet long. So we don't have to land on the first blade of grass. And again, I don't really want to because it's right. We're going to be coming over the I-4 here. And then we look at the runway right here. You can see there's a big grove of trees, and that wind's going to be blowing through those trees. So if we try to land right in the lee of that, it's going to be a little turbulent. We're going to land right past those trees. We'll get the smooth air off the lake. Okay, that's what we're looking for. So we want to maintain that speed right now. You're looking good. You're going about 80 miles an hour. That's fine. You see your runway at this point?
Yep.
All right. When you're ready to make another left-hand turn, what I want you to do is go ahead and do so. You're going to line up the airplane with the runway. The wind will blow you to your left.
Okay.
I'll bring the power back.
Am I trying to come down?
You're fine.
Okay.
Just hold it. Don't turn too soon.
All right.
There we go. Now, we did that stall for a reason, and that reason is in the pattern to land. We don't care about what the airspeed indicator says. We care about what the airplane's telling us doing by sound alone. So if you listen to it, you can hear the whistle. It's got plenty of speed.
Okay.
All right, when you're ready, we'll make that last turn here. Perfect. This is exactly what I want you. You got the nose to the right a little bit because you know that the wind is going to blow you to your left. This is what we call a crab angle. Now, lower that nose some more for me. Give you a little bit more power. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take it from here. You know what, just stay with me. Just stay with me on the controls. We're going to get a little bit of wind shear. So add some power. Now we're going to chop the power. Now listen to it. Just make sure your feet or your heels are on the floorboards. All right, now listen to it. Just like that stall that you did. You can hear it slowing down and we're on the ground. Not once did I look at the airspeed indicator. So you keep it going straight. It's going to want to kind of go to the right here because of the crosswind. So we're going to make it go straight. Never, never get on the brakes with this thing because it will go up on its back. Cool.
And we like to avoid that.
We want to avoid that. Now, about a half an hour ago, we talked about how to taxi this thing. So you got it, okay? So we'll give it a little power. Remember, we want to do those little zigzags.
Right.
So you grabbing the stick. It's all pedals at this point. The stick does nothing, but just hold the stick so it doesn't bang against the stops.
Okay.
Perfect, just like this. So you're looking for alligators, turtles, cows. I've seen foxes on this. I've never seen a deer. Bald eagle's been on this before, eating the fish.
That's worth seeing.
Oh yeah. I saw something on the runway. The eagle was right around in here, and I was at the end, and I saw something on the runway, so I taxied down here, and it's a good thing I didn't take off, because those big birds are really big.
Wouldn't have been good for either.
No. Did you have fun?
I had a blast.
Good. You did really well.
Thank you.
So is today the day?
No, it was actually the 8th of May.
8th of May.
Yeah, I just had to work the scheduling out.
I hear ya. Well, I'm glad Mother Nature cooperated as far as, you know, it was fairly calm up there for you.
Yeah. When we started off over on by 75, the sky was mostly clear.
Yeah.
We started getting closer here, and I was watching the clouds going, hope so.
Yeah, it's one of those things like today, if it rains, I'll shove the airplane in the hangar and then let it rain and get the airplane back out. Yeah. You're doing super just like this. Got it figured out. Most people, I'm going to say 95% of everybody who flies this tells me that what's going on right now, this is the hardest part, is the taxi portion here. There you go.
And where am I heading ultimately?
We're going to go back to where we started.
Okay, so I'm going to go across here?
Yeah. So there's this last marker. Keep going straight.
Okay, past the marker.
And then we'll make a right-hand turn.
All right.
Great. We'll go straight from here. And you got a bunch of people here watching you. It's like being John Bon Jovi or something.
Now's the wrong time to crash.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. Just go straight. I'm going to follow through with you.
Okay.
And so what I want you to do, go to the right, all the way to the right, as far as the pedal, all the way. And it pops around. And that's her. Complete your mission.
Woohoo!
Great job.